Where does Michigan sit right now in your mind of the Big Ten?
I think they sit fairly at number 3, and I love it. I think Ohio State has purchased their roster successfully, and that that is a slight to them in a sense because that doesn't worry me. Like I love that Michigan just won a national championship, and we are nowhere near favored to go ahead and not only win a national championship but win the Big Ten. Like that's a beautiful thing, Brant. Truly, it is for the guys in that locker room. Those guys who just won a natty that are here and like their names not even like mentioned in this, and knowing that Ohio State and Oregon, are squarely ahead of you, and from a talent, from a roster standpoint, absolutely. But Brant, Ohio State from a roster standpoint, you can name the last 2 years. Been the same thing. Okay. I love it. I absolutely love it. Do I think Michigan should be favored to win the Big Ten? No, I don't. Do I think that they could win the Big Ten? Absolutely. Brant, here's a team that I don't want to play this year in a 12-team college football playoff or in a Big Ten game that really matters. It's Michigan. They've got experience on their team. They've got a defense that you don't want to play. I'm not calling this defense the Georgia defense of the 2021 season. I'm not going there because they're not there. And they lost a lot of guys on defense. But Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, Will Johnson, Jay Sean Barrow, the transfer from Maryland, Ernest Hausman, like Makari Page. Like Brant, Michigan's not the team anybody wants to play in the Big Ten, okay? And that's for starters. We may not be getting Caleb Downs transferring, up to Ohio State, or Keon Sabb dipping out, or Juckin. Like, I know Ohio State is loaded. Brant, Ohio State's been loaded. They've had the C.J. Strauss. They've had the Marvin Harrison Jr.'s. They've had Jackson Smith-Njigba. They've had Emeka Ibuka, who will be back. Like, Kate Stover. Like, I'm good, man. Let's go. I love it. Put us at number 3. Put us at number 4, wherever. I think they fit rightfully so when you look from a talent standpoint. I will never argue that, but I feel pretty good about this football team being able to beat anybody. Now, could they lose to anybody? Could they lose a surprise game? Could they lose to a USC? Absolutely. I'm not saying that this team is going to be unbeatable or that they're somehow, something that they're actually not. But are they a team that I wouldn't want to play? Absolutely. What about you?
Yeah. Dave, you know what's crazy is you try to think off the top of your head when it comes to tiers of teams. And Michigan's in tier 1. Don't kid yourself. They're in tier 1 with Ohio State and Oregon and potentially Penn State, but they are definitely in tier 1. However, there are question marks all throughout the Big Ten. Dave, name me a starting quarterback that's coming back this year for a Big Ten team.
Drew Aller.
That's the one.
Brand,
that
was
great.
Though.
That was great though. I love that you pulled that so quick though. And I mean, I swear we did not rehearse that. That was awesome that you did that. However, Dave, the list is not long, and there are question marks everywhere, which is a good and bad thing because you don't know what to expect coming into this year. Everybody sold that Dylan Gabriel will be this for Oregon. Are you sure? Are you sure? That fits maybe what Dan Lanning wants to do on the ground? Are you sure that's a good match? I don't know. And are we sure that Ryan Day brings in Chip Kelly and all of a sudden now they're going to be a ground and pound team, or Ryan Day's giving up the offensive play calling and that mixes well with Will Howard and Chip Kelly? Are we sure that's going to work? Because I'm not sold on any of that. And Ohio State fans and Oregon fans just being like, oh, Michigan's time's over. They're done. Push them aside. I think is a little bit premature. And Dave, your point on Drew Aller is well taken because Penn State, they have what I would consider one of the easier schedules to go through the Big Ten. They draw Ohio State at home. They don't draw Oregon this year. Michigan's nowhere to be found on the schedule. So Penn State's setting up nicely with bringing back Drew Aller, and people have put them clearly in the tier 2. I mentioned them as definitely fringe top tier, but people are sleeping on them a little bit.